Hello and welcome again to this channel named Image Weekly. My name is Alex Silva, and if you follow this channel, you know that, well, you saw my previous video and you saw that, well, a month ago approximately, I had a major setback. I was fired from my job and most of my photography gear was stolen. My apartment was broken into, and well, there I go. My computer was stolen as well, my iPad, things like that. So in essence, back then the question was, what do I have? And well, in my previous video actually I said two things in essence. One, which is still the most important thing, is that I will continue to create content in terms of photography, but also I will continue to share whatever it is that I know, that I can teach or share in my blog and everything. So if you already follow this channel, or if you don't, subscribe, etc., follow my blog, and well, I'll repeat that in the end. But the second point was what I was left with, and because I said most of my photography gear was stolen, but not all of it, fortunately. So what I was left with was one camera body, and one camera lens, which is my trusty Canon M3, which is from Canon's mirrorless series, that I bought a year ago when I was on vacation. It's a very good camera, and with its corresponding kit lens, which is an 18 to 55 millimeter lens. It's not the sharpest, sorry, it's not the fastest actually. It's a 3.5 to 5.6 aperture, so it does have its limitations. However, it's reasonably sharp. Actually, I think I like this lens better than the EFS series in terms of sharpness, the quality of light, the quality of colors, things like that. So I really like this combination. It does have its limitations. I'll get there in a minute. I was also left with two flashes. I do portrait and architecture work, and for both those kinds of work I normally use flashes, and that's why I have more. But I was left with two of these Mets. This is the Mets 52AF flash for Canon. I have two of these. Fortunately, thieves didn't see them or decided to ignore them because they were not Canon or whatever, but fortunately these are with me, and they are great. They are slightly less powered than the Canon 580 or the 600, so it's a very good flash, very well made, reliable, etc. My triggers were gone, but it turns out I have this kit that this materials that I bought some time ago when I just started in flash photography. And this is something that the strobist calls the universal translator, which is in essence a hot shoe that you can mount on, let's say, a tripod or any other sort of support. Another one which is the exact same piece, but you mount this on a camera. There you go. And you connect these two using a cable, an audio cable in essence, which has audio jacks, and 1/8 of an inch jack, or 3.5 millimeter, however you want to describe it. And you connect one end here, the other here with your flash, and then you can have off-camera flash. However, this leaves you with one flash. You can only trigger one flash, but well, it's better than nothing. So it does have its limitations as well, but to be honest, I really enjoy limitations. I'm a firm believer that whenever we have some sort of limit or constraint, that makes us more creative. So I'm really enjoying that. So that's what I have. So in essence, I needed to figure out what I could do with my current gear, and well, I did a test shot with a friend of mine. Hi, Michelle. And the results were very good. I really enjoyed it. But of course, I figured out some of the limitations of my gear. One thing, well, let's go first with the things that I did like, was that, yeah, this lens is pretty sharp. It's not as sharp as an L series or something like that, but it's very good. I really enjoyed the results. You will see some images here on the video. Yeah, but I really enjoyed the results. So I can still work and do portraits with this. I think a bit more than a year ago, I actually did a test shot for a hotel. In terms of doing an architecture shoot, and I did it with this camera, so I know what it is capable of in that regard, and some of its limitations. So I really like this combination. I enjoyed the sharpness. It is an everyday lens, let's say. It is an everyday combination. This is the camera that I used to carry with me all the time, and to do actually touristy things, and shoot a bit of a street, things like that, but not as a professional or work camera. I also found out or realized some of its limitations, like for example, the lens specifically. Well, it's not a specific purpose lens, and it's not very fast, as I mentioned before. So even its sharpness has strong limitations. That's okay. And in terms of the camera, I already knew this, but once I was actually working with it, it was way more obvious. This camera comes with an electronic viewfinder that I love to use. I'm so used to using a viewfinder because I used to use SLRs, so that's what I'm used to work with. So not being able to, you can use that, but if you're using the EVF as it is mounted on the hot shoe, you cannot use a flash. Or if you use a flash or or mod trigger or whatever, you cannot use the EVF. So you do have a limitation there. As I mentioned before, even using this cable triggering system, you can only fire one flash, and usually when I'm shooting portraits, I like to use some sort of hair light. So I was not able to do that anymore. I can still work and try to work with the sun, things like that, but I will find, I know I may be faced with some situations where I won't be able to do that. So I need to work on that. Another thing that I found out kind of the hard way is that even though I had tested a mobile workflow, let's say using the the camera and the phone or the iPad mini, in terms of having the shooting some images, then processing, and then delivering or uploading to the internet, I tried to do the same with the phone, but when it's about taking one or two shots, transferring through Wi-Fi to a phone and uploading to the internet, there's no problem. However, on a portrait shoot, you probably shoot, let's say, an 80 to 100 images. Transferring those using Wi-Fi to a phone, it's very slow. It's not practical, and of course it takes a lot of space on the phone, and then you're going to process. The phone that I have, that I was left with, is an iPhone 5s, which has I like the screen, but it's not the largest. So that's another point that I was not comfortable with. I need to figure out another way to work. But that's something that I realized, hey, when I try to do post-processing for a bigger volume of images and for a very specific purpose, I ran into some issues there. And of course, so far, even though I have my hard drives, I cannot make backups. I transferred my images to the phone. I'm constantly pointing there because I'm recording this with the phone. I transferred my images to the phone, but I could not transfer to my hard drives, even though they are network attached drives. The software does not recognize the raw files, so it's a bit of a mess. I'll try to figure something out. So my next steps is, well, I need something to post-process my images with. It's something that is not a phone. I'd like to compute. I would like to computer, but I have some limitations there that I will go into a future video. I need a way to make backups. I have an idea about it, but I seriously need something to make sure that I have backups of my shoots. And on another side, considering that I have my hard drives and all my backups for some materials that I have not used, actually, you will see some other videos on my channel, some unboxing videos, and actually two of my unboxing videos that I had not published before. You will see actually one of my hard drives there. And I already have some ideas for more videos in terms of sharing technique, things like that, but first I need to solve the post-processing and backup areas. And I'm also working on an online course. This is something that I've been meaning to do for a long time, and yeah, I'm finally working on it, currently on the phone, but I am pretty sure, or I already have an idea of something that I can do that will speed things out, and I'll let you know about it. In the meantime, what else I'm going to mention? No, I think that's pretty much it for today. In the meantime, well, you can subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and please read my blog. It's imageweekly.com. I'm pretty sure you will learn something there. I've written on it for quite some time now, and well, my last words, make sure that you keep learning and keep shooting. See ya.